watching Nile TV International live from Cairo. It's 1 p.m. Cairo local time. Time for the news, and we start with the headlines. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry takes part in the Friendship Forum held in Athens. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli meets visiting Jordanian counterpart. And Moscow calls on Iran for restraint after uranium metal production. Welcome back. Now the news in full. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry takes part on Thursday in a Friendship Forum with a number of European and Arab foreign ministers. The meeting is held under the title Building Friendship from the Mediterranean to the Gulf in the Greek capital Athens. Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis said that the forum services the common interest of the participating countries. He expressed keenness on boosting joint relations and laying the foundation for cooperation in all fields among the peoples of the region amid the current challenges. He stressed the importance of cooperation to control the coronavirus pandemic. The Greek Premier also named the fields of education, economy and culture as fields with prospects of cooperation to create better future for peoples in the region. On the sidelines of the Friendship Forum, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry held talks with his Greek counterpart, Nikos Dendias. The two ministers discussed means of boosting bilateral relations and exchanged views on a number of regional issues. Shoukry expressed Egypt's appreciation for Greece for ratifying the Statute of the Eastern Mediterranean Gas Forum, which is due to come into effect in March 2021. Shoukry also met with his Cypriot counterpart, Nikos Christodoulidis, for talks on bilateral ties and issues of mutual concern. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli met on Thursday with visiting Jordanian counterpart Bishr al-Khasawna. The meeting tackled fields of mutual concern, or rather files of mutual concern, in efforts to maximize benefits from the two sides under the joint Egyptian-Jordanian Higher Committee for Cooperation. The two premiers discussed means of exchanging expertise in a number of projects in the fields of electricity, power and infrastructure. Egypt reported on Wednesday 610 new coronavirus infections, bringing the total number of cases to 171,390 people since the outbreak hit the country in mid-February. The Health Ministry also reported 53 new deaths, bringing the total number of fatalities to 9,804. The ministry added that 233 patients were discharged from hospitals, rising the number of those who have recovered to 133,331 people. WHO vaccine experts said the AstraZeneca Oxford COVID-19 vaccine could be used for people aged over 65 and also in settings where variants of the virus are circulating. The Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization issued a range of recommendations for when and how to use the two-shot vaccine. The vaccine is yet to receive emergency use authorization from the World Health Organization. The announcement came after the vaccine has suffered several setbacks, raising questions about whether it was appropriate to use it for older people or in places where a variant is circulating. AstraZeneca's vaccine is currently a vital part of COVAX, the system set up by the WHO and others to procure COVID-19 jabs and ensure their equitable distribution around the world. Saudi forces intercepted an armed drone fired by Houthi rebels in Yemen on Thursday, a day after a rebel strike on an airport in the kingdom. The latest drone attack targeted the garrison town of Khamais Mushait in southern Saudi Arabia that hosts a key air base, but the drone was destroyed before reaching its target. Several drones attacked Abha's International Airport in the kingdom's southwest on Wednesday, prompting Washington to call for an end to Houthi aggression. The coalition said the attack set a civilian aircraft ablaze, while the Houthis said they had struck Abha Airport with 4 drones, claiming it was used to launch attacks inside Yemen. The United States reacted by calling for the rebels immediately stop these aggressive acts, just days after demanding an end to any new offensive in Yemen. U.S. President Joe Biden, who has reserved his predecessor Donald Trump's policy on the conflict, has deployed his new Yemen envoy to Saudi Arabia. Lebanese Prime Minister-designate Saad al-Hariri on Wednesday met with French President Emmanuel Macron to discuss the crisis in Lebanon and the difficulties in forming a new government. Al-Hariri and Macron had discussed the internal Lebanese difficulties that hinder the formation of the government and the possible ways to overcome them. Macron has been spearheading international efforts to rescue the country from its deepest crisis since the year 1975-1990 civil war. Macron is trying to persuade Lebanese politicians to adopt a roadmap and form a new government to root out corruption so that international aid resume. Russia urged Iran on Thursday to show restraint after it started producing uranium metal in a new breach of limits laid out in Tehran's nuclear deal with world's powers. The Vienna-based International Atomic Energy Agency said on Wednesday that it had verified the production of 3.6 grams of uranium metal at a plant in Iran. The landmark deal reached in the year 2015 by the United States, China, Russia, Germany, France and Britain contained a 15-year ban on producing or acquiring plutonium or uranium metals or their alloys. Iran said last month that it was researching uranium metal production, a sensitive issue because uranium metal would be used or could be used in as a component in nuclear weapons. In the year 2018, U.S. President Donald Trump dramatically withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal and reimposed crippling economic sanctions on Tehran. The United States renewed its calls on Turkey on Wednesday to get rid of an advanced Russian air defense system, appearing to reject an offer by Ankara to avoid U.S. sanctions. Turkey's Defense Minister Hulusi Akar, in an interview this week, proposed a compromise in which the NATO ally does not fully deploy the S-400s, which Russia originally built to target Western jets. Turkey went ahead with the purchase despite warnings from the United States, which under former President Donald Trump booted Ankara from the F-35 fighter jet program and imposed sanctions on Turkey's military procurement agency. President Joe Biden, before the election vote to toughen the U.S. stance on Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Well, that ends our news for now, and for more news, follow us on www.nileinternational.net and stay tuned for more news on Top of the Hour.